Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, we're going to get into something that I haven't talked about for a while yet, actually, and that is the different types of games available, or story games available, and some of the formats that are available for them. And let's just kind of touch over that, and then, then we can do more specific episodes for them later, okay? But before I begin, I'd like to, tell people down there to go down below, click subscribe, because obviously, if you want to support me, at least click like, and then that way that'll help the YouTube algorithm. I also have links for the Super Thanks and the PayPal and Patreon for all the subscribers for the new, sort of the episodes that I can't put here on YouTube. I just finally finished the next block of 5, so we're up to episode 15. Available to the subscribers, and this is a video, so a bunch of different episodes of extra content that's available to the subscribers and supporters. The link is down below if you want to get a listing of all the various different episodes of the History of Fan Anime, because the YouTube search engine is not all that great. So I've compiled a separate database for all the episodes that I do have, as well as I have a separate file which has all the listings of all the special bonus episodes for the subscribers, so you can at least see what the upcoming content is for your subscription. So you can definitely have a look at those two. Again, links are down below. Okay, and so I'd like to thank all my supporters for that. And again, it really does help. And anything that you put on that, whether it's a super thanks or for donations, really appreciate it, so thank you for that. Okay, so in today's episode, I'm going to talk about different types of anime games, and of course there's many different types of anime games, from fighting games like Street Fighter and all, and more advanced ones like maybe like Tekken or Dead or Alive, as well as there's more story oriented ones like Final Fantasy and RPG ones like that. But I'm going to cover a couple ones that are, probably people haven't sort of know about in terms of anime ones, and just sort of go from there. Okay, so the ones out that we all familiar with, are the ones that are on consoles and that kind of stuff. But we also have a lot of story-driven games. Okay, and what I mean by story-driven is that you are playing a character or a person in the game. And then what you do and what decisions you make basically alter the ending of a particular type of the story. Okay, and of course there's lots of replay available in these type of kind of games, because obviously if you don't get the right ending, or you wanted a particular type of ending, then you obviously have to play the game, and obviously again, and play it a different way, make different choices and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to just pull out two examples of ones I've got here. These two games are made from a U.S. company called Hirameki Games, and I remember in one of the episodes where I talk about con merch and swag, I got a plastic fan from Hirameki. They just while I was walking by their booth, and they just handed me this fan, and of course I didn't know what their games were about, and so once I got that, I looked up and said, okay, well, yeah, they makes various different kind of games and that kind of stuff, but these ones are a little bit different. These two I got here, just two examples of ones here. One is called Hourglass of Summer, and the other one's called the Tea Society of a Witch. Okay. Now, these ones are kind of neat and interesting games, because these ones, you don't need a computer or a console to play them. You just need your DVD player to play them. And so your decisions that you make and whatnot in the story will change what chapter and that kind of stuff through. So it's basically, make your own adventure type of game. And these are pretty neat, because not only does it contain the actual software, these particular box sets here comes with a separate little box booklet, and then inside these things you get a special little kind of art book in them. So this particular one, I just kind of open it up here. Let's see. it comes with a little art book type of thing here with different sort of graphics and kind of colors and that kind of stuff in there, different character analysis and whatnot. Even sort of sketch work and that kind of stuff from the actual game. So it's kind of really kind of like a mini little book like that kind of thing. And so this is some of the stuff that's available from this company called Hirameki Games. Here, I'll just show you the other one here. Hourglass of Summer. Obviously, this is another sort of kind of a chance to romance sort of game here. Again comes with a special other box. Okay, which contains the I guess the art book here. So let's kind of open that up here. Show you that yes, it has a separate little art book here. Oh, get a little tab out here, and again, character design artwork and that kind of stuff in there, sketching and that kind of stuff there, and then I do believe it's got the character designs and that kind of stuff. Goes through all the different characters and that kind of stuff in the book. So again, that's that's one style that's really easy to play, and basically it plays out the different scenarios and whatnot for that. Later on, they made also a lot of these similar type of games where the outcome can be altered not only with the decisions you make, but also what you do during the day and what things that you have. Or that you do during the day to either build up your strength or your money or intelligence or whatever. Depending on who you meet at what time, will also change. What happens then. So one example that I can make is for a game called Eve Burst Era. Okay, commonly came out for the Sega Saturn and that kind of stuff. And again, one of these games where if you make decisions, that kind of stuff, different outcomes will particularly happen. Or if you want to try to get with a particular, one of the character girls or whatever, then you have to do things in a certain way in order to get her, right? Now, this is very difficult without multiplayer unless you actually sit there and you actually map everything out, map the instructions out, or decisions out, and then you can basically try to figure out down the tree of what you do. This is where something like, for example, let's say Eve Burst Era, it came out for the Saturn. You would have to buy something like this, for example. This is a Sega Saturn magazine, and inside the magazine, you would basically find a chapter or whatnot that would detail that particular game, right? And it would go over different levels and different that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, of course, the problem with one of these magazines is that obviously in such a big game like Eve Burst Era, they wouldn't cover every single girl and every single aspect of it, right? It may only just cover one, or it might just do some sort of sort of topological sort of thing where gives you the idea of the game, but may not actually tell you all the different paths in order to get multiple girls or whatever, right? That won't happen, right? Because it's very difficult, and it would take too many pages out of this particular book, unless of course there's a special article or a special clip out book which is for that particular game, right? Not always happens, but even things like what the game of Langrisser play, one of the Sega Saturn magazines, does cover some of the stuff for Langrisser 5, but it only covered the first 5 levels, right? So, if you need to do more, obviously there's multiple levels and multiple branches to that thing, and again, in order for you to do that, this magazine won't be enough. Okay, so for people who are playing, for example, Eve Burst Era, and they want to get a little more and more detailed about the particular game, then you're going to need to get something like this. Okay, this is the full booklet. Okay, art book and sort of a media book for Eve Burst Era. Okay, so again, let's see. Let's go to something safe. Okay, say something like this one. So it has various different artwork and that kind of stuff for the game. Okay, as well as different say the characters and the signs, that kind of stuff for that, which is really nice. So if you're trying to actually do the completion of the game and that kind of stuff and try to get all the different dirt paths, then you're gonna need some more sort of a detailed book like this so that you can actually map it out. So for example, if you wanted to chase after, let's say instead of the main character, go after one of the other subsidiary characters that are in there, then obviously you would have to go through someone who's already mapped it out or done something like this kind of thing, and then follow the steps in the book to do that. And again, in the age before things like internet and that kind of stuff were available, those books and that kind of stuff were absolutely valuable in determining that kind of thing. Because again, there's no way at this particular time where we're still very early in the age of the internet, right? It was just shortly, just past the mid 90s. Okay, so we're still dealing with Windows 95, Windows 98, for example. The internet was essentially a collection of things like Yahoo pages and that kind of stuff. So again, unless you found specifically a page that deals with these type of games, especially Japanese video games, it's very, very difficult, right? Because everyone's sort of used to the English stuff, and you trying to find an English page on a Japanese game that wasn't translated into English, very difficult, right? So to get that kind of information is very, very hard to do. And so you really have to pretty much resort to, buying one of these, magazines and that kind of stuff to actually help you solve the game and that kind of stuff in that way. Okay, so these are two different styles of games and that kind of stuff that are commonly available, at this particular time. Now, I said, there are obviously a lot more other different sort of games that are like playthroughs and whatnot. For example, like Magical Knight Rares, for example, and of course I can go further back in the time, into the pre-console era, into like for example the PC 98 games and that kind of stuff. So that's sort of like their version of DOS games, for example. Pre-Windows games. There was a fair bit of games and that kind of stuff, and that was all that. But I'll save all that stuff for another episode, because I just wanted to just cover a couple different titles and a couple different things that are available in this sort of realm and whatnot. And again, in the era of just the PlayStation / Sega Saturn world, PlayStation kept it pretty clean and kept it pretty E for everyone, as it were. But as I said, Saturn and even Dreamcast started going down and going, hey, we can release these sort of semi PG-17 and 18 up titles and that kind of stuff. So they started doing a lot of those ones, which added to their popularity in that sort of later stages of that particular console. Again, that's why those books, especially the art books and that kind of stuff, and also the solution books, became very, very handy. And again, those are some things that again in the modern day a lot of people don't need, because again they have all the sort of solutions and that kind of stuff online, or they watch other people already do the solution. They just gotta kind of almost defeats the purpose of actually trying to do it yourself, because you're watching somebody else do it, right? So whatever, that's just one of those changes that happens with technology. Okay, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that and found this kind of interesting. Again, if you want me to talk more about the these kind of sort of classical sort of video games and that kind of stuff, leave some comments below. Maybe if you have some game suggestions of your own down there, then I can make some recommendations and just pull out what I might have in archives for those, and I can show you what I got. All right, so until next time, I will see you again.